Hello fans and frenemies, Nate Draconator here with another fun little AU idea video for you. I find you guys always really enjoy videos like this where I just talk about a fun what-if scenario, and I hope that maybe it inspires you to make your own, or use this one for something if the fancy strikes you. Remember that all my AUs are totally welcome for you to use, no problem at all. So, today I'm going to be talking about Roguefeather. A lot of people think I really hate Roguefeather, but, the thing is, at the end of the day, Roguefeather isn't real. I can't really hate him because he doesn't exist. So it's not that I hate Roguefeather, it's that I often find him really boring to read about. Or I feel really annoyed when, the books call him the loyal warrior Roguefeather when he's not really all that loyal. Or how after the truth came out about their kids, Leafpool's whole life fell apart, but nothing bad really happened to Crow at all, and it just seems annoying and unfair and ultimately unenjoyable for me to read about. I'm not really here to fix that today, because ultimately I think Roguefeather's trial already did that. Within the first two chapters, it establishes that Roguefeather does have flaws, and that this book will be about him acknowledging them and working through them, and I really enjoyed that, and felt a lot of relief. Nowadays, I just call Roguefeather stinky because it's, funny, but, I also call Hawkfrost stinky, and y'all know how much I like him. In any case, today I want to toss y'all a fun little Roguefeather-themed AU. I call it the Roguefeather AU because everything deserves a name, and he becomes a rogue in this. And I'll admit, it's not that creative. Okay, so I get the feeling that Leafpool started feeling doubts about leaving the clans before they even met Midnight, but she needed an excuse to finally commit to going home. In this AU, they don't run into Midnight, and Leafpool doesn't get that excuse. She doesn't have a reason that she thinks is good enough to turn around, so she doesn't. Leafpool and Roguefeather head out together into the wild and become rogues. Like I said, I think Leafpool was probably already starting to feel the tug of home, and I think she would always yearn for community and family especially, but Roguefeather? I think Roguefeather would have been extremely happy as a rogue. I think he would have really found a lot of peace in being responsible for himself for a while, and not having to prove himself anymore to people around him. And I think that when they both realized Leafpool was pregnant, rogue Roguefeather would be beyond excited to really try his best to make everything work. Maybe Leafpool would insist she keep practicing hunting before making a nest like a little nursery and bedding down for a while, but he would just be so excited to take care of her a while, to feel useful and successful. I think that once Leafpool found a nice hollow tree to bed down in, Roguefeather would be out pretty much every single day looking for moss and soft feathers to bring back, catching prey constantly. Maybe he would even be so focused on providing for her that he wouldn't be around as much as Leafpool wanted or needed. Roguefeather is happy with long periods of solitude, but Leafpool would probably be really lonely. And maybe she would even be upset, and Roguefeather might not understand what the problem is at first, because all he could see was how hard he was working. But honestly, I think Leafpool would be able to explain to him that she was lonely and craved his company while he was away, because Leafpool is actually pretty good about confrontation and communication. So let's say 2 months go by and the kids come, and Leafpool finally tells Roguefeather the truth. She misses home, she doesn't like being a rogue. She can't stop thinking about her family, and while she does love and care about him, this relationship isn't making her happy. Roguefeather is obviously devastated. As far as he was concerned, everything was fine. I think at first he would be really upset, and probably go hard through the Kubler-Ross model and hit all 5 stages of grief. Until this moment, he'd been in denial, hoping that once the kids were born and she could get out of the nursery, she'd be really happy, but that didn't happen. Maybe he would argue with her that she just needed to give him more time before she made a decision, maybe try bargaining, but eventually I think he would just accept that she was right. She just wasn't happy. So he comes back and he says he's sorry for storming out or for yelling at her or whatever, and asks what it is she actually wants to do. He's already in love with his kids and he's terrified of losing them, and he's already dreading the idea of returning to the clans because he is so much happier out here. But then Leafpool drops the bomb on him. She's a medicine cat. If she returns, she'll be in a lot of trouble, but she'll probably keep her job. But if she returns with kids, there's no way she'll ever be a medicine cat again. She asks him if he would take care of them, and Roguefeather is elated. He's so sad to lose her, but he doesn't have to lose his kids, too. And knowing she will at least be happy starts to make him happy, too. So they decide that Leafpool will stay until the kids are ready to travel, and then they'll travel back together near the clans so he can protect her since she's still not much of a fighter or a hunter, and she'll do the last leg alone, while he stays on the distant moors with Holly, Jay, and Lion. I think Roguefeather would definitely be closest to Holly, and Lion is generally happy to go with the flow, but I think he'd probably have a lot of problems with Jay. Jay is testy and easily frustrated, and Roguefeather's extremely protective of him because he is blind and they don't have a clan to protect him. He's already trying to keep 3 kids safe on his own, and he projects all that stress onto his smallest son, which Jay rightfully resents. Holly, I think, really enjoys being a rogue, but she probably makes up a lot of rules and insists that what separates cats from the mice and rabbits was morals and ethics, so she is always making up rules about things that are wrong and you shouldn't do, or things you should. It probably annoys everyone else, too, because some things are really petty, like maybe she says to respect prey, you always have to bury the bones when you're done, which is pretty inconvenient, but she gets really upset if you don't do it, so everybody does it. And maybe she has some silly rules, like you always have to wash your paws in a puddle before coming into the nest at night. It's really annoying and inconvenient, and people get really annoyed with her. I think Jay would be the first one to leave. Crowfeather has told them about their mother and the clans. It's not a secret, but he never expected they would want to go there. So when Jay gets fed up enough with feeling that he's not being taken seriously, maybe he even has visions of Spotted Leaf or Yellowfang urging him to cross the moors and return to the lands of his ancestors, he sneaks away one night and travels to the clans. StarClan sends the medicine cats a sign that there's prophecy cats coming, specifically one tonight, and that they have to let him in and train him as a medicine cat. So when Jay arrives, it's in the middle of a gathering, and everyone is shocked. But there he is, the prophecy boy! And nobody knows where he came from, and he's very cagey on the details. Perhaps he doesn't know which cat is his mother, because Crowfeather's been vague about the details for some reason. The narrative can make something up, I'm sure. But at the time, 2 of the 4 clans of medicine cats had apprentices, and the only 2 free were Little Cloud and Leafpool. When Leafpool realizes who Jay is, she immediately pushes really hard for ThunderClan to take him, which unsettles Blackstar, who is suddenly extremely suspicious of why ThunderClan wants to get involved in another prophecy so badly. ShadowClan asks for him, and Bramblestar, who doesn't understand why Leafpool wants him so badly, lets them take him, because he wants to try and foster a better relationship with them, and Little Cloud is much older and more in need of an apprentice than Leafpool anyway. Leafpool is devastated, but can't tell anyone why, and Jay is just as happy to go to ShadowClan as anything else. Little Cloud has always wanted to be an apprentice, but no one in ShadowClan had ever wanted to be. Jay is actually really excited about being a medicine cat. It means power in a clan, and he has a thirst for knowledge. And because he showed up with a big prophecy behind him, nobody is making him feel like he's worthless or needs to justify his existence or prove his worth. He arrives just in time in ShadowClan to meet Tawny Pelt while she's still pregnant. And obviously she's going to immediately feel quite sympathetic towards this displaced little prophecy cat and go out of her way to make him feel at home. When her kits come, J-Paw helps deliver them, and feels very close with them as well, since Tawny Pelt has been very protective and maternal towards him, and he's quite happy to take over nursery duty for Little Cloud to check on the kits every day. So while things might be going pretty well for J-Paw and ShadowClan, Leafpool is utterly beside herself. Her son is here, and he's a medicine cat, and he's in ShadowClan, and she can't tell anyone. She's frantic, and she wants to know why he's here. Is Crowfeather okay? What about Lion and Holly? Did something happen? Meanwhile, out in the wild, Crowfeather is losing his mind. He's lost and it's just like Jay to be kind of selfish and not consider how other people might react to him just being gone, but Crowfeather is in an absolute frenzy. He manages to track Jay back to near the clans and realizes that's where he's gone, and then he has no idea what to do. He's afraid to go back and afraid of what people will think of him, but he doesn't know if Jay is okay, and he has to know his son is okay. So while he's waffling, though, Holly and Lion decide themselves to go and find Jay and see what this whole clan thing is even about. So they end up heading there, too. They enter Wind Clan first, and when the clan cats realize they are also part of the prophecy, Holly opts to stay in Wind Clan, and at first they're a bit nervous about splitting up, but so excited about the idea of being in a prophecy that they agree to it, and Lion heads over to River Clan. Crowboy is basically just pacing back and forth outside the clans at this point, having a prolonged panic attack. And at the next gathering, when Leafpool realizes all of her kits are here and none of them are in ThunderClan, she is extremely upset, but she still says nothing. All 3 of them know that their mother is a clan cat, but not who, and they decide to use the fact they're in different clans to help them cover more ground, essentially, and meet up in the tunnels at night to discuss progress. I think you could probably keep Lion Blaze and Heathertail's whole thing too, and at some point the 4th prophecy cat would be born, Dovewing, into ThunderClan. And maybe the big dramatic moment wouldn't be Hollyleaf telling the truth, but Leafpool doing it, or even Crowfeather returning. I think at the end Crow and Leaf could have a happy reunion, but ultimately realize that even in the clans, it still isn't going to work. And they both love their children, and they have that in common, so they stay on good terms. He gets together with Nightcloud and has Breeze Pelt, and maybe Lion Blaze feels like he has to protect his younger brother in another clan, even though Breeze doesn't much want to be helped. I think it ties up a few things with Power of 3 that were confusing, and ultimately is just a fun alternative path to the books you could play with. What do you think? Would Crowfeather be happier as a rogue? How would Ashfur play out in this scenario? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's all for this time. Naders out!